This month sees the winter solstice, which marks the beginning of winter season, although the weather is already telling us that winter is here. This magical changing season, it's been celebrated for years with traditions and rituals that honor the rising of the winter sun. So as well as winter solstice, this time of year can be surrounded with preparation for Christmas for some of us. And it can come along with a whole kind of mixed bag of feelings and emotions. So although Christmas is kind of perceived as a happy time, it doesn't always feel that way. It can come along with a sense of happiness, but some people feel a lot of sadness this time of year, loneliness, maybe grief, loss, stress and anxiety. And then we kind of feel under even more pressure as everyone's expecting us to be happy. It's this happy time. So it's really important to remember that as well as expressing love for others and perhaps creating these external celebrations, it's really important to focus on self-care too. So throughout this month, we shall be looking at practices that honor and respect all that nature does for us, and also offer ourselves some time for kindness and compassion as we approach the winter solstice and the holiday season. So winter, where was I going to go with that? So the winter solstice has long kind of been recognized as the first day of winter, and it's the shortest and the darkest day of the year. And it occurs when the Northern Hemisphere is furthest from the sun. And this year, this shift in light is celebrated on December the 21st at 3:58 p.m. And after the winter solstice, the days begin to get longer. So we are going to look at setting intentions for the new year ahead, and we're going to do some more kind of leading up to the end of the month. We'll do some more kind of restorative classes. So today we're going to start with heart opening. So, you know, instead of resisting the extra darkness that this time of year brings, we'll be practicing opening your heart to welcome the change and tune inwards with intention to allow your body to adapt to this sacred time of year. And then next week, we're going to be activating your intentions for the new year by turning inwards and awakening the inner fire with some gentle core heating practice. So this is more kind of around activating the core through twists. And then we're going to start to slow things down, and we'll have a mainly seated practice, which is going to make time for our breath and just be a little bit slower, and it will work on the hips and the hamstrings mainly. And then the week before Christmas, we're going to enjoy a restorative practice, which will be half restorative, so you'll be supported with props, etc., and then half a nidra, where we'll make a really comfortable nest, a nidra nest, to relax and let go and kind of just drop anything that we're holding and just kind of work our way into our holiday season. So I hope that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of what we're doing today and for the following weeks. We will, for today, need 2 blocks. So if you have your blocks nearby, that's good. We'll be good to go. So we'll start off in a comfortable position. Now that can be seated or it can be lying down, whatever you would prefer to do. We're going to do a short meditation and look at some intention setting. So if you'd like to sit on a block or a cushion, or if you feel more at ease laying down on the ground, that's okay too. So making your way to a comfortable position for you right now. If you'd like to close the eyes, you can, or you can leave them open. And start to become aware of the breath. So no need to change that breath in any way. Just observe it as it starts to move through the body. And can you bring your awareness now to the parts of the body that touch the ground? So if you're in a seated position, maybe you can notice the sitting bones supported by the earth. If you're lying down, noticing the parts of the spine that are touching the floor, the shoulders, the hips, all those parts of the body that connect with the ground. And see if there's anything that you can drop. So that sensation of when you've been shopping and you've got really, really heavy bags, and then you drop them and you kind of get that release, that it's the release of dropping those heavy bags. See if there's anything that you can just drop, that you can let roll off of you onto the safety of the mat. And next, think about setting an intention to let go of something that no longer serves you. If you have an intention that is really clear, something that you can think of straight away and you know that that's your intention, then you can hang on to that. If you'd like a little bit more guidance, then perhaps think of something that's felt like your own personal darkness this year. And maybe set an intention to let go in any way. But at the same time, set an intention to allow light into your life. Sometimes it's not as easy as just letting go or replacing negative thoughts with positive thoughts. But see if you can think of something that could manifest some joy into your life. This could manifest in the form of practicing positive self-talk, creating some dedicated you time, a promise to connect with your local community, finding more time spent in nature. Choose something that you know will bring joy to your life and place your awareness there. See if you can activate your intention. And we'll come back to it throughout the practice. Now, slowly we'll start to bring our awareness back to the room, back to the body. So if you're already lying down, you can grab a block and stay there. If you're in a seated position, take the block with you and we'll come down onto the back body. So I invite you to bend the knees, bring the feet flat on the floor, and lifting the hips up, slide the block underneath the hips. So choose the height of your block. And then once you get there, see if you can drop into the block. Perhaps you can release through the lower back, through the buttock muscles, coming into that support of the block. And bring your awareness down to your feet. And without changing the feet, can you notice where they rest, where they've settled on the floor? Are the toes facing forwards? Are they slightly turned out or slightly turned in? Just notice and take your whole presence and awareness to the feet. And then noticing where the legs go in alignment to the feet. If the feet are slightly turned out, are the knees turning out? If the feet are in, are the knees in? There's no need to change anything here today whilst we're supported by the block. Just bring your awareness there. Now we're going to start to bring awareness to the arms and explore how it feels if you open the arms out to the side, about shoulder height. And then keep going, moving the arms all the way up over the head. Explore with how that feels in the body, having the arms up. Now start to bend the elbows and bring the elbows down in line with the shoulders. And explore with that sensation there. So can you use your intuitive choice, tap into your inner awareness to how the body felt through those arm movements, and you choose where you'd like your arms to rest. Down by the sides, out to the side, above the head, or cactus shape. And now can you take your awareness to your abdomen and feel the navel rise and fall with the breath. So now you could explore with taking the right leg and extending it straight along the mat. And notice where the toes go. If they tend to fall out to the side, you could bring a little bit more activation into the leg by turning the toes upwards towards the ceiling. And perhaps noticing a sensation through the front of the hips, your hip flexor. Now, if that feels like a really strong sensation, you can bend the right knee and extend the left leg. If it's feeling okay, you could extend both legs at the same time. So explore with extending the left leg. See how that makes you feel. And then if you prefer, you could bend the right knee. And we can explore with a little more activation in the left leg by turning all 5 toes up to face the ceiling. If you've got both legs straight, maybe now bend the right knee and bring the foot flat to the floor. And then bend the left knee, bring the foot flat to the floor. And we'll lift the hips up, go slow, slide the block out of the way, and gently lower the hips back down to the ground. So now find your awareness in your lower back. And if there is no sensation there, that's perfectly okay. But you may be noticing like a sensation, a tingling of energy. Just be present with what you're feeling here. And then slowly start to curl the head and the shoulders up off the ground. Hold on to the backs of the legs. Now see if you can keep your feet on the floor, dig the heels down, and slowly round your way up to a seat. Bringing the hands onto the front of the shins. And imagine you have a string attached to your sternum, so the bone that's between the rib cage. And that string is going to pull forwards, so the rib cage moves forwards. As you do that, can you pull the shoulders back as you pull the hands onto the shins? Take a breath in here. And then breathing out, start to pull the front body to the back body and round through the spine. And with an inhale, the string's going to pull you back forwards. So you come onto the front of the sitting bones. The rib cage moves forwards as the heart moves up. And then draw the front body to the back body as you round the spine. And we'll do one more both ways. So inhale, stretch the heart forwards and up. Noticing the little arch that starts to form in the lower back. And then pull the front body to the back body as you round the spine. Good. Okay, we're going to take our block, place it on the mat, and we're going to take the heels either side of the block and then sit back onto it. So if you want to use a couple of blocks or maybe a block and a blanket, if you're really uncomfortable, then don't suffer in silence. You can sit onto your sitting bones or sit onto your block in a different shape. But if you can, sitting this way is going to start to help open up the front of the legs. And then see if you can find the string starts to pull the rib cage forwards to form this arch in the lower back. Now with the next breath in, invite the arms up over the head. And breathing out, bring the arms down. Breathe in, reach the arms up. And as you breathe out, bring the hands back to rest onto the feet and draw the shoulders back towards one another. So pulling the shoulders towards one another, retracting the scapula. Keep pressing the rib cage forwards to create that arch in the lower back. And invite the breath up the front body. And inhale again, reach the arms up overhead, interlace the fingers together and press the palms upwards. And on your next out breath, draw the front body to the back body, round the spine and press the palms forwards. Breathe in, reaching them back up. Press the rib cage forwards. And breathe out, rounding through the spine, press the palms forwards. Now, as you reach the palms up, sometimes we try to move with our arms. So think of pressing the rib cage forwards and not leaning into the lower back. Let the arms move on their own. And then release the hands down. We're going to come onto our hands and knees so we can move the block to the side. Okay, so let's extend the right leg back and lift the toes from the ground. So the legs coming towards a straight line. And then you could turn all 5 toes to face the ground. And starting to get lighter on the left hand. And perhaps reach the left arm forwards. And start to bend the right knee, bringing the heel towards the glutes. And reach the left hand back. Now you can keep reaching for the foot, or you could point the toes and see if you can catch the foot. Now, if you manage to catch the foot, pull the heel down towards the glutes, and then lifting the knee up as high as you can. And then we're going to start to kick the foot back into the hand. And as you kick the foot back, notice the lift of the chest. Feel the string on your sternum pulling you forwards. Good. Release the foot, bring the hand down, and we'll step the right foot through towards the hands. Lift the body up, and with an inhale, reach the arms overhead. And try to let that string on your rib cage pull you forwards. Now bringing the hands down behind the back, interlace the fingers together, draw the shoulder blades back towards one another, and allow that string to pull the rib cage forwards as the hands melt down towards the ground. And then we'll release and come back to hands and knees. And we'll take the left leg back, turning the 5 toes to face the ground. Start to get lighter on the right hand. And then perhaps reach the right arm forwards. Now, as you bend the left knee, squeeze the heel towards the glutes and reach the right arm back. Now, you can keep reaching for the foot, pull the shoulder back. Imagine the rib cage on the string pulling forwards. Now, if you can catch the back foot, squeeze the heel towards your glutes and then lifting the knee up away from the floor. And then start to kick the foot back into the hand. Feel the expansion across the front of the chest. And then releasing the foot, step the foot all the way forwards to your lunge. With a breath in, reaching the arms up. Press the rib cage forwards. Imagine it's being pulled forwards on that string. Then bring the hands down behind the back. Interlace the fingers together. And then we're going to switch the grip. So we have a dominant grip and we always put the same little finger and thumb on top. So switch them over. Draw the shoulders back. Let the string pull you forwards as you stretch the hands down towards the earth. Let the light into your life. Think about what brings you joy. And release the hands. Coming back to our hands and knees. Now, you're more than welcome to stay here, or if you'd like, you could tuck your toes and come into a downward facing dog. So wherever you choose to be, you could add in some intuitive movement. So follow your inner guidance and see where the body would like you to go here. What's going to bring you joy right now? Could you maybe pedal through the feet, move the hips, roll forwards and back or side to side. Welcome this change in movement. And then tuck in the toes under. You could come to downward facing dog, or you could start to walk your feet forwards to a forward fold. If you come into downward facing dog, stay for a breath, and then walk the feet forwards. Now we're going to take our 2 blocks and place them underneath the hands. So when we do our half lift, if our hands are on the ground, we have maybe a tendency to kind of look forwards with our head, and we can't really lift up very high. It's not really a half lift with the hands on the ground. And then sometimes we might be tempted to bring the hands to the legs and push back. So you end up more sort of in the backs of the knees and pressing into the heels. So to try and find a good position today, we're going to take our hands on the blocks. So then you're already closer to a half lift. If you imagine coming up halfway, the back's flat like a tabletop. So we want to have the position slightly forward so the toes grip the ground rather than being back pressing into the heels. Softly draw a little through the front body to the back body. And imagine you've got that string on your heart, pulling it forwards between the arms. And then we'll bow forwards. Slowly come up all the way to stand. Reach the arms overhead. And straight back down into a forward fold, bringing the hands onto the blocks. Lengthen the spine forwards. Imagine the string pulling your rib cage forwards. And then we take the hands to the ground. So step the blocks to the side. Step back to plank or to hands and knees. Bring the knees down to the ground. And imagine the string on your sternum starts to pull forwards. We create an arch in the lower back. Then kiss the heart down to the earth. And slide onto the front body. Interlace the hands at the lower back. And this might make the shoulders droop forward. So think about squeezing the shoulders back towards one another. Pressing down through the tops of the feet. Start to peel the heart from the earth and imagine that string pulling forwards, reaching the rib cage forwards as the shoulders move back, retracting the scapula. Reaching the hands down towards the heels. Keep pressing the palms together and release the hands. Now press your way back to hands and knees or plank pose. Downward facing dog is always there for you as well. Then walking the feet forwards towards the top of the mat. Inhale, take a half lift. You could either have the blocks under your hands, or you could let the hands start to float away from the earth. Slightly roll the shoulders back and reach the sternum forwards as if it's being pulled forwards on that string. Now bring the hands down and step back with the left foot. Rooting down through the feet. Slowly rise up to a high lunge. And with the string on your sternum, it's going to pull you forwards. So start to notice this arch in the lower back. And can you draw the shoulder blades towards one another without moving the torso? Now we'll open the arms out to shoulder level, start to turn the heart towards the right side. And we're going to windmill the arms. So we're going to take the back arm down towards the ground and the front arm up towards the ceiling and switch. So the right arm comes forwards and the back arm is going to fall back down the back leg. We're going to reach the right arm up to the sky. Now, notice if you've got a slight shift in your torso here, can you imagine that string on your sternum pulling you forwards? And then open up to warrior two. Adjusting the feet as you need to. See if you can draw the shoulders back towards one another a little and press the rib cage forwards to create that arch in the lower back. Turn the gaze over the front hand and press down through the outer edge of the front heel. Now sweep the hands behind the back so the shoulder blades start to move even closer towards one another. Press the palms together. Feel that expansion across the front of the body as that string starts to pull on your sternum, pulling it forwards. Let the hands move down a little more towards the ground. Invite the breath in. As you breathe out, start to bow forwards and lead with the heart. Okay, try to maintain that arch in the lower back, lifting the hands away from the ground. Keep pressing down into the outer edge of the heel. And then release the hands to the floor. Turn to face the top of the mat and bring the back knee down. So we'll take the right foot, heel toe, out towards the right. And take the left hand way off to the left. So there's like a big space between your hand and your foot. Now bringing the hand up, the right hand up onto the right knee. The string on your sternum starts to pull it forwards. As you do that, the shoulders are going to move back closer towards one another, retracting the scapula. And you could stay exactly here, or you could start to bend the knee, squeezing the heel towards the glutes. Perhaps reaching back with the right arm. Now, if you can catch the foot, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to back out of the hips and connect the heel to the glutes. Now, keeping that connection of the heel to the glutes, start to move the hips forwards. So it might only be a little way, but start to move the hips forwards. Keep drawing the shoulders back. And notice the sensation that maybe occurs in the front of the leg, in your quadriceps. And then start to kick the foot back into the hand. So see if you can notice more of an expansion across the front of the body here. And that string on the rib cage starts to pull forwards. Shoulders back. Now release the foot. And we're going to come back to, so we're taking this right knee back to the ground. Bring the hands back to the mat. Imagine the string on your sternum pulling you forwards, creating that arch in the lower back. Bend the elbows, kiss the heart to the earth, and come onto the front body. Now prop yourself up onto your elbows. And we'll take the left elbow and turn it out a little bit more towards the left and bring your arm across in front of you. So it's like on a diagonal, it can support your body. And start to bend the right knee, bringing the heel towards the glutes. And you can reach back with the right hand. Okay, if you can't catch the foot, you can keep reaching and squeezing. If you can catch the foot, we're going to start to squeeze the heel down towards the glutes. Now notice what's happened to your shoulders here. You might start to sink a little in the shoulders. So press down to lift out of the shoulders, pull the shoulder back. And perhaps you could take a little tuck of the tailbone, pressing the pubic bone down into the ground. Notice if that changes the sensation in your quadriceps. Okay, now if your hand's not there already, walk your hand across the top of the toes to catch the big toe side of the foot and start to kick the foot back into the hand. Notice a little bit more retraction of the scapula here on the right side. Then release the foot. Stack the hands one on top of the other like a little pillow. Rest the head down. And tap back into your inner awareness. Let it be your guide. And see if there's any movement that wants to come into the body. Perhaps a little shake of the hips, a swing of the legs. Welcome the changes that you're feeling in your body. Bringing joy into your life. And slowly pressing back to hands and knees or downward facing dog. In your own time, in your own way, walk the feet forwards. And we'll come into a half lift. So either hands on blocks or float them from the ground. Start to draw the shoulder blades towards one another and arc the heart forwards between the arms. Bringing the hands back down to the ground. Let's step back this time with the right foot. Pressing down through the feet, rising up to a high lunge. Now let the string on your sternum start to pull the down. And then they go the other way. Left arm down, right arm up. Oh, I don't know how I did that wrong. Swing them back again. So the right arm's down, the left arm's up. And then arc the heart forwards. And then we'll open up to warrior two. Retract the scapula slightly. So there's a slight drawing of the shoulder blades towards one another. And that string on your sternum pulls the rib cage forwards. So there's an arch in the lower back. And turn the gaze over the front hand. Keep pressing down into the outer edge of the left foot. And then interlace the hands behind the lower back. Now can we switch the grip? So we're going to take the opposite little finger and thumb on the top. Keep drawing the shoulders back. Retract the scapula. Pull them towards one another. Keep pressing the palms together as the hands move towards the earth. And start to arc the heart forwards as if that string is pulling the rib cage forwards. And then lead with the heart as you bow down. Trying to maintain that arch in the lower back. Lift the hands away from the ground. And then bring the hands down to the earth. Pivot back towards the top of the mat and bring the knee to the floor. Heel toe the left foot, a little bit off to the left. Take the right hand out towards the right, so you've got that big gap between your hand and foot. Bring the left hand onto the knee. Retract the scapula, pull the shoulders back. and allow the string on your rib cage to pull that forwards. Noticing that arch forming in the lower back. Now we could stay here, or you have the option, you can bend the back knee, squeeze the heel towards the glutes, reaching back perhaps with the left hand. Keep reaching and squeezing, or you can catch the foot. Now, if you catch the foot back out of the hips, connect the heel to the glutes, keep drawing the shoulder back, and then start to sink the hips forwards, only as far as you can go without the heel separating. Notice the sensation you feel in your quadriceps. Keep arcing the heart forwards, and then you could kick the foot back into the hand. Releasing the hand to the ground. You're going to come back with the left knee to the ground, hands on the mat. Let the string start to lead the sternum forwards, create that arch in the lower back, and then kiss the heart to the earth. Then unravel onto the ground and prop yourself onto your elbows. So we're going to bring the right arm across in front. Start to draw the left heel towards the glutes and reach back with the left hand. Now, if you can't reach the foot, keep reaching and squeezing. If you get the foot, squeeze the heel down towards the glutes. And notice what happens in the shoulders. If you start to sink, press down to lift out of the shoulders, draw the left shoulder back, and perhaps take a little tuck of the tailbone, pressing the pubic bone down into the ground. And then from here, start to kick the left foot back. If your hand is not on the big toe, walk the hands across the top of the foot, hold on to the big toe side of the foot. As you kick the foot back, notice this left shoulder coming into retraction. And then release. Stack the hands, rest the head down. Tap into your inner awareness. Think about what would bring you joy here, whether you want to maintain your stillness or if you want to add in a little movement. And then make your way up to hands and knees. Take your block between your ankles and sit back. So see how this feels now. We've stretched the quadriceps a little bit, might feel a little bit more ease sat on the block. If you'd like to explore, you could take the block away and bring the buttocks down to the ground. So see how it feels. If it's too much, come back to the block. If it feels okay, you can stay here. And then notice into your spine. Okay, we're going to bring the hands back, draw the shoulders back, and feel the string pull your sternum forward. See if you can create that subtle arch in the lower back. See how that feels here. Now maybe staying here, or you could start to lean back into your hands. Or if you're on the block, I'd encourage you to stay here. Now you could lift your hips up, take a slight tuck of the tailbone, and then bring the hips back down to the block. Okay, if you don't have a block underneath you, you could start to bend the elbows, walk the hands to your feet, coming down onto your forearms. Then from here, lift the hips, little tuck of the tailbone, bring them back down. And maybe walk all the way down to your back. Okay, the hands can rest wherever brings you joy. So take your body to not quite to its edge. Okay, you want to be able to think about your intention here. So if you're feeling a lot of discomfort, your awareness is going to cling there. So you can come up out of the shape at any time. You don't need to stay in it this whole time. Feel free to move. And think of your intention, letting light into your life. Welcome the change. And then slowly backing out the same way you got in. Okay, and if you are on a block, stay as you are. If you're on the ground, you might like to bring the block back underneath you. You can always stay on the ground, or you could sit onto your heels. Taking the right hand onto your right foot and draw the shoulder back and let that string start to pull the sternum forwards. So once you find the arch in the lower back, the rib cage moving forwards, you can reach the left arm up and move from the shoulder, not the torso. And then bring the left hand down, shoulders back, rib cage forwards, and reach up with the right arm. And bring the hands down. So I'm going to give you another option. You can repeat another round of that, but if you would like to, you are more than welcome to tuck the toes here. Bring the right hand to the right foot, draw the shoulders back, arc the rib cage forwards as if it's being pulled on your string, and then press down with your hand into your heel. Press the hips forwards so you can have a string on your pelvis as well, bringing you forwards. And reach the left arm up and back. Then come back down, switch the hands, press down through the left. The string pulls your hips and your ribs forwards, reaching the right arm back. And we come back down to sitting. Now, as you're ready, move the block out of the way, come back onto your hands and knees. And if you'd like, you could come into downward facing dog. In your own time, in your own way, start to walk the feet forwards to the top of the mat. And inhale, take a rise up, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, bow all the way back down to the ground. Inhale with a half lift. So either hands on blocks or lift the hands from the ground. Draw the shoulders back towards one another. Arc the rib cage through the arms. Bringing the hands back down. We'll step back with the left foot. Root through the feet and rise up to high lunge. Keep pressing the rib cage forwards, forming the arch in the lower back. Then maintain pressing down through the front foot, lifting the back leg from the ground into warrior three. Now you could have blocks under your hands here. And turn all 5 toes towards the ground. Take a slight bend into your standing knee and squeeze the heel, left heel towards the glutes. Now, you could reach with either the right hand or the left hand, whichever feels a little bit more accessible for you. Okay, if you can't reach, just keep reaching and squeezing. If you can catch the foot, squeeze it towards the glutes, and then lift the knee as high as you can. And then kick the foot back. And bring the foot to the floor. Bring the hands to the hips. Lead with the heart as you come up to stand. Invite the breath in, reaching the arms up. Breathing out, bow back down towards the earth. Come into the half lift, draw the shoulders towards one another and arc the heart forwards. And step back with your right foot. Rooting down through the feet, rise up, high lunge. The string on the rib cage, pulling it forwards. And then bring the hands back onto the blocks. Start to lift the right leg up. And maybe take the left block a little step forwards. A little micro bend in your standing knee. Turn all 5 toes to face the ground. Then start to squeeze the heel towards the glutes. And you can reach back, catch the foot, or just keep reaching and squeezing. Squeeze the heel towards the glutes and lift the knee up away from the ground. And then start kicking the foot back into the hand. Now bring the foot to the floor. Bring the hands to the hips as you lead with the heart to come up to stand. Now, if you'd like to, you can move to the wall so that you can hold on to the wall for a little bit of added balance. We're going to stand into our right foot, lift the left heel towards the glutes, catch hold of the foot if you can. You can keep reaching and squeezing. Now notice your knees are slightly separated here. Now see if you can pull your left knee back in line with the right. Squeeze the heel towards the glutes. Now drop, imagine you've got a weight on your tailbone. Drop it straight down towards the ground. And notice if this left knee starts to shift forwards, can you pull it back? Draw the knees back in line. And now take the hand and walk it across the top of the toes to the big toe side of the foot. Start to pull the rib cage forwards as if it's on that piece of string and kick the foot back behind you, back, and then lift the knee up as high as it will go away from the ground. And your right hand could be on your leg, it could be on the wall, it could be reaching forwards or up. And then bring the foot to the ground. And feel the ground beneath both feet for a moment. And then press into the left foot, bend the right knee, squeeze the heel towards the glutes. Now noticing that the right knee is slightly forward of the left, can you pull the knees in line? And then imagining you've got a heavy weight pulling your tailbone straight down towards the ground. And then line the knees up again. Now taking the hand, walk it across the top of the foot to hold the big toe side of the foot. Imagine the string on the sternum starts to pull the rib cage forwards as you kick the foot back into the hand. Then start to lift the knee up away from the ground. Notice the shoulder pulling back, the expansion across the front of the body. Let the left hand rest on either the leg or the wall, or it could reach forwards or up. And come back to both feet. We'll invite a breath in, reaching the arms up. And breathing out, bowing forwards. Inhale to your half lift. And then exhale, blocks to the side, step back to plank pose or to hands and knees. And then from plank, bring the knees down. Imagine the string starts to pull the sternum forwards. You create an arch in the back and then kiss the heart to the earth. coming onto the front body. Interlace the hands behind the lower back and then switch the grip. So you have the other finger and thumb on top. Draw the shoulders back towards one another into retraction of the scapula. Press the feet down and start to peel the heart from the earth. Imagine the string on your sternum, pulling it forwards as you reach the hands back. And release. Bring the hands to the ground and press to hands and knees. Take your block between your ankles and sit back on the block. I'm going to give you another couple of options to take here. Now, you can bring your hands to your feet and retract the scapula. Pull the shoulders towards one another. And the string on your sternum is going to pull forwards. So the rib cage moves forwards to form the arch in the lower back. Keep drawing the shoulders back and invite the breath in. Now, another option for you here, you could tuck your toes. Place the hands onto the heels and set up the exact same way. Retract the scapula, draw the shoulder blades towards one another. And start to arc the heart forwards as if you have that string on your sternum, pulling it forwards. Form that arch in the lower back. Then press down into the hands, start to lift the hips. Pressing the hips forwards as if they're on a string as well, being pulled forwards. Keep pulling the shoulders back towards one another. And let the light shine from the heart. Let that light into your life. Bring joy into your life. And slowly you can lower back down. So another option you could find, if it hurts to tuck the toes, a lot of my clients have issues around their toes. So you could try to use blocks instead of your feet. So you want to have the feet slightly separated. Draw the shoulders back. Arc the rib cage forwards as if it's being pulled forwards on the string. And then press into your blocks to push the hips forwards and up. Keep drawing the shoulders back. So choose whatever brings you joy. Welcoming the change through the heart space. And then as you're ready, we'll come back down to the back body with the block. Lifting the hips, slide the block underneath the sacrum. So that large triangular bone right at the base of the spine. We don't want the block in the arch of the back. I'm going to come down low. So the back of the hips rest on the block. Now tap into your inner awareness of where you'd like to rest your arms. And see if there's anything that you can drop here. And let it come off of your body and fall onto the safety of your mat. The light into your life. Just slowly letting the body come back. Allowing all the little squishy discs in between the vertebrae to start to reset themselves. We're going to lift the hips off the block and come down. Keeping the knees bent, separate the feet about as wide as the mat. Let the knees fall into touch. Letting go of any hold that you maybe had on the breath or in the muscles of the spine. Just allow the body to be and bring your awareness to the energy that's running up and down the spine. Invite a breath in all the way from the base of the spine up to the crown of the head. And breathing out, let it descend from the crown of the head to the base of the spine. Noticing any subtle changes in the body, any shift in sensations. Welcoming the change. And now as you're ready, I invite you to come into your final rest. So you may wish to stay here, or you perhaps want to come into Shavasana with the legs extended, or lie on your side, or making your way up to a seated position. Whatever serves you in the present moment to bring joy into your life. And once you get there, take a moment to allow the body to be at rest. Begin by feeling your body resting on the ground. We've spent quite a lot of our time up in the element of air. So see if you can really now bring yourself back down to the earth. Feel the earth beneath you. Feel your body resting on the ground. And start to notice your body breathing. Observe your body breathing. Feel the earth beneath you. As you watch your navel rise and fall. As you inhale, feel the earth rising up to hold you. As you exhale, allow your body to release into the earth. Feel the support of the earth. Let the earth receive your body. Notice the flow of the breath. And feel it moving in your spine. As you breathe in, feel the energy travel up your spine to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, allow the energy down into the center of your body. Feel the body filled with energy. Your whole body vibrating. Let your awareness rest at your heart center. And remember your intention. The intention to allow light into your life. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Remember where you are. Notice how you feel. And I invite you to stay here for as long as you need to honor this moment of rest. And only when you feel ready to return to your day. Thank you for practicing with me today. It's been an honor to share this practice with you. And I hope you've enjoyed opening your heart to welcome the change and tuning inwards to your inner sensations to let that light into your life and bring around some joy into this self-care practice today. May we invite peace into our bodies. May we speak words that heal and create peace. May we bring peace to our minds. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Enjoy the rest of your day.